When people ask me when my childhood ended, I don't say it ended at 18. I say it ended in the mountains, the day my own mother walked away and never came back. I was just 16 years old. No phone signal, no map, no idea how close I was to losing my life. This is not a story about hate. This is a story about fear, survival, and the silence that changed me forever. Before that day, I was just a normal teenager. School, friends, dreams, and small problems that felt big at the time. My mother was strict, but caring. She worked hard. She worried a lot. I trusted her with everything: my safety, my future, my life. One summer, she suggested a camping trip. "We need time together," she said. "Fresh air will be good for us." I was excited. I thought this trip would bring us closer. I never imagined it would pull us apart in ways I still feel today. The drive was long. Roads became smaller. Houses disappeared. Phone signal slowly died. When we started hiking, the forest felt peaceful. Birds, wind, tall trees blocking the sky. I remember joking, asking her if bears lived there. She smiled, but didn't answer. After hours of walking, my legs were tired. My backpack felt heavier with every step. That's when we reached a clearing. She stopped walking. Her face changed. She looked at me and said, "Wait here. I'll be back soon." I asked, "Where are you going?" She said, "Just nearby." Then she turned around and walked into the trees. At first, I wasn't worried. 5 minutes passed, 10 minutes passed, then an hour. My heart started racing. I shouted her name. My voice echoed and came back empty. That's when fear entered my body. Slow, cold, and heavy. The forest didn't feel peaceful anymore. Every sound felt closer, louder, more dangerous. I checked my phone. No signal. Battery dying. I thought maybe she was testing me, teaching me responsibility. That thought kept me calm for a while. But when the sun started dropping behind the mountains, hope started leaving with it. I was 16 years old, alone in a place I didn't know, wondering if my own mother had abandoned me. Night came fast, too fast. The forest turned black. I could barely see my hands. I remembered survival videos I once watched. I collected sticks. I made a small fire. I sat there shaking, not from cold, but from thoughts. What if she's hurt? What if she never comes back? What if I don't survive this night? I cried quietly, afraid even my tears would attract something. That night felt endless. When the sun finally rose, I made a decision. Staying meant waiting for death. Moving meant risk, but also hope. I followed a stream downhill. Every step hurt. My body was tired, but my mind was stronger than ever before. I talked to myself out loud. I promised myself I would survive. After hours of walking, I heard something unbelievable. A car. I ran. I screamed. I waved my arms like my life depended on it, because it did. The driver stopped. His eyes widened when he saw me. That was the moment I knew I was going to live. Authorities searched the area. They found my mother hours later. She was lost, confused, crying. She said she panicked. She said she never meant to leave me that long. I listened, but something inside me had already changed. After that day, I grew up fast, too fast. I learned that trust is fragile, that even people who love you can make terrifying mistakes. I learned that survival isn't just physical, it's emotional. I survived the forest, but I carried it with me for years. If you're watching this and you've ever felt abandoned, lost, or forced to grow up too early, know this: survival changes you, but it also makes you stronger than you ever imagined. I was left alone in the mountains at 16, but I walked out a different person. When I was 16, my mom took me camping in the mountains. I expected fresh air, campfires, and laughs under the stars, but she left me alone, miles from civilization, and abruptly walked away. That moment changed everything. I grew up in a quiet town. My mom worked long hours, and although we weren't perfect, I trusted her. That summer, she suggested a camping trip deep in the mountains, a place she once visited as a kid. I didn't know then that trust would be tested. We reached a clearing, and then she just stopped. She turned to me and said, "Wait right here. I'll be back soon." I watched her walk away, lighter steps disappearing into the trees. That experience taught me about fear, courage, and trust. I learned that silence isn't always abandonment. I learned that strength often comes from moments we least expect. Some memories don't fade with time. They wait quietly until one small sound, one smell of trees brings everything back. For me, that memory lives in the mountains, in the silence, in the moment I realized I was completely alone. I was 16 years old when my mother walked away into the forest and didn't return. Before that trip, my life was simple: school, homework, small arguments, big dreams. My mother was my world. She wasn't perfect, but she tried. She protected me, or at least I believed she did. When she suggested a camping trip, I said yes immediately. I trusted her without hesitation. That trust would be tested in ways I never imagined. The deeper we drove, the quieter the world became. Roads narrowed, trees grew taller. My phone showed one bar, then none. She told me not to worry. "We'll be back before night," she said. I believed her. We stopped at a clearing. She removed her backpack. Her hands were shaking. "Wait here," she said softly. I watched her disappear between the trees. That was the last time I felt safe. At first, I sat on a rock. Then I paced. Then I panicked. Every sound felt closer. Every shadow moved. I screamed her name until my throat burned. No answer. Darkness swallowed the forest. Cold crawled into my bones. I built a fire with shaking hands. I prayed, even though I didn't know who I was praying to. I slept in short, terrified moments. Every noise woke me. When the sun finally touched my face, I felt relief and anger. I decided to move, to survive. I followed water downhill, hoping life existed somewhere below. My legs were weak when I heard the engine. A man stopped his car. He looked at me like he couldn't believe I was real. I collapsed. I was safe. Some people survive storms. Others become them. I survived the mountains, but I was never the same again. And maybe that's how growing up really happens.